Good morning, everyone. Today I wanted to share a must-have for crocheters and knitters, which is this ball winder by KnitPicks. I purchased this, I think it was like a few years back. I didn't think I needed it, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. My yarn collection has been expanding, my business has been growing, so this yarn ball winder has been so helpful. And when I say helpful, it's so much easier to store your yarn and it makes it look much cleaner and so much organized. So I'm going to show you, I use the acrylic yarn for this one. Okay. Even Bernat blanket. So this one, I believe the weight 6. So this one's a little bigger. I was testing it out to see how big I can go. I can't remember. It does say in the directions. Oh, no, it does not. I think it was inside. It does say the weight that it can hold, but I wanted to test it out to see if I can exceed more, and I was able to, but I don't suggest you guys to do it because I don't want you guys to break yours. But I, with the Bernat blanket yarn, I did try to put more of the yarn in it, so that I don't have to keep cutting the Bernat blanket. So this one's a lot more bigger than this one. I was testing it out, going slowly. So I'm going to show you how you can use this yarn winder. So first you would need a yarn. So pick any yarn, grab your yarn, and what you're going to do is you're going to put it in this loop right here. Hold on. Hopefully you guys can see. Okay, so you see this metal piece right here. This is where there's like 2 loops. So what you're going to do is you're going to go around once and twice. So it should be able to go all the way through. Then there's 2 slits on here. So you're going to attach it across. So you can leave like maybe 1 inch or 2 inches long, because reason why, once you're done with the cake and you pull it up, you would need, because I know a few times I messed up the yarn cake and I couldn't tell which was which, and I messed up the yarn cake and it was in knots. So you see that, keep the tail out so you know where you can pull it from. Okay, so about 1 inch or 2 inch, I would say maybe 2 inches, if anything, 1.5 inches, long enough where you can, have it sticking out like that. Okay, not sticking out too much, but all right. So once you do that, for me, I like to make sure that I have some slack. All right, I like to hold mine just to keep the tension. So, this one, just gotta push it in. I like to hold my yarn just to keep the tension. And the reason why I like to hold it too, a few times when I was winding the yarn, there were knots. And when I was winding it without holding, it started to get stuck here, or like if I pulled it, can, damage the yarn. So it's been a habit for holding it just to make sure there's no knots or anything. But everybody has a preference of doing it. I prefer holding it. You don't have to if you want to. And it also helps create tension, so I can add more yarn onto this yarn cake. I'm almost done with this one. This color yarn was a project that I was working on, but it was sitting there for years and I forgot what hook I used. It was supposed to be an Among Us plushie, but I guess I lost interest in it. I can't recall, but it was almost done and I just took it apart. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be working on this anytime because I am working on other projects right now. So I do go through phases, and I'm like, it's just gonna sit there. So I did take it apart, and now this is my third skein that I am winding into a yarn cake. This is called a yarn cake. Okay. So if you ever gone to like the craft store and you see some of the brands that says cakes, that's what it is. It looks like a yarn cake. All right, so we're going to continue. And you can continue as much as you can. For me, I just try to make sure it doesn't go under. When you see it starts to exceed this color, then it'll start to go under and it'll start to get some knots. But once you're done, grab the rest, turn the yarn winder, and what I like to do is tuck it in. Okay, and then inside you're going to pull, there you go, the tail. And then you're going to pull it up. Just make sure there's no loose ends. Sometimes it can happen where a long piece will come out. You just have to tuck it back in. And then just tuck it in just a little bit, but have the tail out so that you know, now you see this has to be tucked in. Because the last thing you need is that when you store it, it keeps unraveling and you don't want that to happen. So here's one yarn cake. I'm going to start doing this one. My favorite yarn to use is Big Twists. And if you like this color right here, okay, it is the Big Twist brand Value. And the color of this is purple ombre. Okay. And the weight for this is a medium 4, just in case anybody was wondering. It is a little bit thinner than a regular weight 4 yarn, but I do like the quality of this yarn. So we're going to pull from the inside, and I do feel like there's a, yep, I was right. So there, we're going to try to untie this right here. So I believe we'll be able to use this whole yarn skein into a, convert it into a yarn cake. So let's see. Give me a second. And if you want to get one, you can purchase in the link in my bio. You can get it in Amazon. This one I definitely love. I looked at all the reviews for some of the yarn ball winders on Amazon, and this one was it. So here we go. Nothing fancy, it's simple, it's affordable, and it's a must-have. A must-have, definitely. Especially if you're thinking of expanding your yarn inventory, I highly recommend. I was not into getting this yarn ball. I'm like, it's not necessary. Yeah, no. I mean, down the road, I think you should get one. I think everyone should get one for all knitters and crocheters. It really does come in handy. And plus, what I like to do as well, which I will show probably in another video, I have a lot of scrap yarn, and I am going to convert it into a yarn cake. So it's going to consist of a lot of yarn scraps and me tying them together into one continuous string. And I think that'll be pretty cool. I did actually, however, I did do a few, which I'll show you guys. I didn't think I could do it, but I was like, you know what, I think that's pretty cool. I didn't want the scrap yarn to go to a waste. I did want to reuse what I had left. Sometimes the yarn scraps, depending how long they are, if they're not as long, I use them to stuff them in amigurumi. I just try not to waste yarn. I try not to. Okay, see, there's another knot. That's why I like holding the yarn. And it can be a pain. it can wind up to 100 grams or 3.5 ounces of yarn at a time. So it also says, I'm looking on the website, it says it is a standard capacity for standard size yarn ball, regardless of the yarn's thickness, lace, fingering, worsted, or bulky. Again, here's some knot zip in here. I'm going to weigh these as well. All right, give me a second. Okay, so now we're done, and I'm gonna get this little thingy and scale, excuse me. We're gonna weigh it by ounce. So I forgot which way is it. This one. And I gotta put it down. All right, so we're gonna weigh it. Okay. All right, it is by ounces. So we're gonna weigh this one right here. So this one is 3.0 ounce. Okay. Let's weigh this one. This one's a little more bigger. As you can see, this one has more weight. Well, 2.7. All right. Now I'm curious as to this one. I'm gonna weigh the biggest one that I have. So 5.6. Let me see if I can show you guys. Well, it's hard to see, but it says, all right, let me let it go. 5.6 ounces for this big guy right here. Let's weigh this one. That one is 4.8. And then let's try this one. 4.0. So, you can exceed if you want, but like I said, I don't want to be held accountable if you break your yarn ball winder. But I've played around with mine and to see how much I can add on it. And this one was the most that I've had was 5.6 ounce for this one. I'm going to wind this one. This will be my last one. And I'll show you again how to use this yarn ball winder. The yarn that I am going to wind, I got this at Joann's before they were closing. And I normally don't work with this type of yarn, but I really like it. And I'm working on a project with this beautiful color, kind of like a mustard yellow. So the brand is Karen Simply Soft. Okay. And let me see. Where's the name? It is Gold. So it's called Gold, and I'll show it. Okay. And the weight for this is for medium. All right. I'm going to show you guys my little yarn collection. Okay, so this is my yarn collection. I am not done. It's not perfect. I've been moving my inventory in one place. So I'm still organizing all my yarn, trying to color code it. But this is what it looks like. And all these are from, bigger skeins. I converted into a few of them. And there's that one. I think this was the biggest one, but I didn't finish and I didn't want to cut this yarn, so I just used my hand to make it into a yarn cake. And this is the rest that I have that I want to take out, since I bought all these from Joann's before they closed down. So this is my collection of yarn, and it is disorganized, but yeah, I just want to show you it is a lot more easier to store them, and it looks a little more organized, which this is driving me nuts. In all, if you are looking for something to organize your yarn, I highly recommend this yarn ball winder. There is a link in my bio and on the category of must-haves for crocheters and knitters. Definitely get this. It is affordable and so easy to use and easy to store away. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Bye.